Donald Trump has warned UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer over a transfer deal of a key US-UK base in Diego Garcia amid murmurs of an impending US military strike on Iran. Trump took to his Truth Social platform and asked Starmer not to enter into a 100-year lease of Diego Garcia, which is strategically located in the Indian Ocean.
I have been telling Prime Minister Keir Starmer of the United Kingdom that leases are no good when it comes to countries, and that he is making a big mistake by entering a 100-year lease with whoever it is that is claiming right, title, and interest to Diego Garcia, strategically located in the Indian Ocean. Our relationship with the United Kingdom is a strong and powerful one, and it has been for many years. But Prime Minister Starmer is losing control of this important island by claims of entities never known of before. In our opinion, they are fictitious in nature. Should Iran decide not to make a deal, it may be necessary for the United States to use Diego Garcia and the airfield located in Fairford in order to eradicate a potential attack by a highly unstable and dangerous regime. An attack that would potentially be made on the United Kingdom as well as other friendly countries. Prime Minister Starmer should not lose control, for any reason, of Diego Garcia by entering a tenuous, at best, 100-year lease. This land should not be taken away from the UK, and if it is allowed to be, it will be a blight on our great ally. We will always be ready, willing, and able to fight for the UK, but they have to remain strong in the face of wokeism and other problems put before them. Do not give away Diego Garcia.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was asked about the Trump administration's position on the UK control of the Chagos Islands after contradictory signs from the White House and the State Department. She said,
Just said on Truth Social that it would be a big mistake for the UK to hand over control of Chagos Islands to Mauritius. But the State Department earlier this week has said the U.S. does support that handover. So does this post now suggest that the U.S. does not, or that President Trump has changed his mind on this?
The post should be taken as the policy of the Trump administration. It's coming straight from the horse's mouth. When you see it on Truth Social, you know it's directly from President Trump. That's the beauty of this president and his transparency and relaying this administration's policies to all of you and to the rest of the world.
Diego Garcia is the largest island in the archipelago and is used as a joint military base by the UK and US armed forces. Under a deal announced last May, the UK will lease back Diego Garcia for a period of 99 years.
If we did not agree this deal, the legal situation would mean that we would not be able to prevent China or any other nation setting up their own bases on the outer islands or carrying out joint exercises near our base. So there's no alternative but to act in Britain's national interest. By agreeing to this deal now on our terms, we're securing strong protections, including from malign influence, that will allow the base to operate well into the next century, helping to keep us safe for generations to come.
Referring to the ongoing US-Iran talks on Tehran's controversial program, Trump said that if the Iranian regime did not make a deal, the US military would have to use Diego Garcia for the attacks. Trump has repeatedly threatened to use military action against Iran over the Khamenei regime's crackdown on anti-government protests and its nuclear activities. Trump has repeatedly made U-turns on Diego Garcia in recent months, from describing the planned transfer as an act of great stupidity to saying the deal was the best the Prime Minister could make.
In a new twist, Trump's Greenland push escalates dramatically, thousands of miles away in the Indian Ocean. The U.S. president blasts the UK, weaponizing the Chagos Islands dispute to justify his Arctic ambitions. Donald Trump slammed the UK's decision to hand sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius in a Truth Social post. He described the move as an act of great stupidity and total weakness, warning that China and Russia would take note. Trump said the decision was one of the reasons he now wants Greenland, framing the issue as part of a wider failure by allies to protect strategic territory. Trump claimed that under his second term, the United States is now being respected internationally like never before. He suggested that Washington could no longer rely on allies to safeguard critical military assets, pointing directly to Diego Garcia, home to a key U.S. base. The comments mark a sharp reversal in Trump's public position. When Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced the Chagos Agreement in May 2025, he said Trump had welcomed the deal and recognized the strategic importance of the Diego Garcia base. That account was supported by the U.S. Secretary of State at the time. Marco Rubio issued a statement saying Trump had expressed his support for what he called a monumental achievement. Rubio said the agreement reflected the enduring strength of the U.S.-UK relationship and pledged continued collaboration to promote security in the Indian Ocean and beyond.
In addition, if we did not agree this deal, the legal situation would mean that we would not be able to prevent China or any other nation setting up their own bases on the outer islands, or carrying out joint exercises near our base. So there's no alternative but to act in Britain's national interest. By agreeing to this deal now on our terms, we're securing strong protections, including from malign influence, that will allow the base to operate well into the next century, helping to keep us safe for generations to come.
Trump himself appeared supportive earlier this year. During Starmer's visit to the Oval Office in February, Trump said the United States would likely back the deal, pointing to a long-term and powerful lease of around 140 years for the base. But now, Trump is publicly condemning the same agreement, calling it a surrender that undermines Western strength. His remarks come as the UK government advances legislation to implement the treaty with Mauritius. The Diego Garcia military base and British Indian Ocean Territory Bill is currently before Parliament. Its purpose is to enact the provisions of the May 2025 treaty covering the future of the Chagos archipelago, including the joint US-UK military base on Diego Garcia. The House of Commons is set to consider amendments from the House of Lords on 20th January. Under the deal, the UK agrees to hand over sovereignty of the Chagos Islands to Mauritius while retaining control of the military base through a leaseback arrangement. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has said the 99-year lease will cost the UK £101 million a year. The islands were separated from Mauritius in 1965, when Mauritius was still a British colony. Britain bought the territory for £3 million, but Mauritius has long argued it was illegally forced to give the islands away as part of its independence settlement. The establishment of the Diego Garcia base displaced thousands of Chagosians from their homes. Many were resettled in Mauritius and the Seychelles, while others eventually moved to the UK, largely settling in Crawley in West Sussex. Trump's outburst comes at a politically sensitive moment. It followed closely after Keir Starmer publicly highlighted his close relationship with the U.S. president during a speech at Downing Street, delivered against the backdrop of the Greenland dispute.
Reaction across the UK political landscape has been mixed. Speaking on BBC Breakfast, Darren Jones, the Chief Secretary to the Treasury, defended the Chagos deal, saying it delivered important security guarantees for the island and surrounding seas. He said Britain should not feel embarrassed or humiliated by the agreement, despite rising geopolitical volatility. Jones acknowledged the increasingly unstable global environment, but warned against being cowed by pressure or rhetoric. He insisted the deal was the right way to secure the island's future. From the opposition benches, criticism has been sharper. Shadow Defense Secretary James Cartledge said the deal should not require Trump's intervention to prompt a rethink. He argued the UK was committing tens of billions of pounds to lease back land it already owns, claiming the agreement was driven by fears of legal challenges he said had been debunked. Reform UK leader Nigel Farage welcomed Trump's comments, saying he was thankful the US president had vetoed what he called the surrender of the Chagos Islands. While Trump has lashed out at London, he has notably not mentioned India, despite its deep and growing security interests in the region and its behind-the-scenes role in encouraging Britain to hand the territory back to its rightful owner. The UK and Mauritius formally signed a treaty last May, ending decades of dispute and recognizing Mauritius as the sovereign owner of the entire Chagos archipelago. For India, this was not just a legal correction, but a strategic necessity in an Indian Ocean increasingly shaped by great power rivalry. India is now backing Mauritius with a $680 million economic and security package, including support for managing the Chagos Marine Protected Area. Agreements are also in place for India to establish a satellite station and conduct hydrographic surveys across the archipelago. Trump's sudden pivot and his attack on the UK now threatens to disrupt this carefully balanced arrangement. The US will retain full access to Diego Garcia under a 99-year lease, reportedly costing around $100 million a year. But as with Greenland, the message is becoming clear. For Trump, access is not enough. Ownership appears to be the real objective.